And happening now, you better grab those umbrellas, rain boots, and slickers, anything you need, because as Chris just told us, the rain is going to be sticking around for a lot of New Mexico, including Albuquerque. News 13's Samantha McDonald continues our team coverage from the Northeast Heights. Samantha, I know it was raining earlier, then it stopped. As it picked back up again? The roads are still slick, I see.
Well, Matt, right now it's drizzling a little bit. Just before, it wasn't raining at all. It seems to be on and off. That's what it's been doing all night. The streets are wet. The cars driving by me spray me with some rain. But take a look at this video we have from 4 a.m. As you can see, the rain was really coming down in the downtown area, adding to the already wet streets. And this is how it is for most of the city. Roads are wet from the Heights to downtown Albuquerque. We talked with our meteorologist, Chris Gilson, who says so far this week, there's been about more than an inch of rain at the Sunport. One thing to remember is to be careful when driving. Some of these puddles are deeper than they look, and that can be dangerous and cause you to hydroplane. Another concern from last night, the roof of an Albuquerque public school office complex could collapse. APS said it started to leak yesterday and it has been evacuated. So we will keep you posted, Matt. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Samantha. Try to stay dry out there. At least it's not raining nearly as hard as it was an hour ago. Now, going back to the building she was talking about from APS, this is it. It has a very old roof. We were told there have been problems there before. No one is being allowed back in there until a contractor takes a look. And speaking of leaky roofs, the steady rain has meant more than steady business for roofing companies. A flood of leaks has swamped them with calls for help.
Extremely busy. Lots of phone calls, lots of repairs, assessing leaks. I've been telling everybody I'm chasing waterfalls because that's what I'm doing.
So we called a number of roofing companies in Albuquerque, about a dozen of them. All of them said they've had tons of calls for service, as you can imagine. In fact, some say they haven't gotten this many calls since the epic rainstorm in the summer of 2005. You remember that one. Then there's the huge New Year's rainstorm from 2007, and back from this summer when that violent storm slammed into us in late July. Now we go to developing news at 6:03. Roaring water taking everything in its path. It is a sight completely out of the ordinary in Carlsbad and really all of New Mexico. Emergency workers say water flowing from the Dark Canyon Arroyo reached the area Thursday afternoon. That's yesterday, sending water levels in the Pecos River higher than they have been anytime in the last 53 years. The rain trapping more than 70 people in the small town of Lakewood near Artesia. Emergency crews here, including the National Guard, they're pulling people out of their cars. Look at that. They had to use helicopters and boats to get people to safety. We're going to dive deeper into this mess in Carlsbad and the flooding there coming up in about a half hour. Now, all that water is coming from the Pecos River, which continues to rise. It has reached flood stage. That's about 13 feet. It's on the southern edge of Carlsbad. Christina Bogle from Dexter sent us this video. It shows the Pecos and the Felix Rivers meeting. A lot of water there, a lot of powerful water. The city has closed a bridge along US 285 connecting North and South Carlsbad just in case the river swells past its 20-foot capacity. Last time that happened, a long time ago, back on July 8th, 1960. And now take a minute and just listen to this. Now, what you're hearing here is a sound of water racing through Boulder, Colorado last night, where thousands of people are being evacuated as the creeks rise to dangerous levels. We now know at least 3 people are dead. Another one is missing in the flooding and the landslides brought on by these heavy rains. This used to be a street, now a rushing river. Up to 8 inches fell between the Wyoming border south of the foothills to west of Denver, Boulder, and Erie, the 2 hardest hit areas. The destruction there is so widespread, President Obama has already signed an emergency declaration freeing up FEMA money. Adriana Diaz is in Boulder and has the latest on a big, dangerous mess.
A 30-foot surge of water is rushing down a creek in Boulder, Colorado, carrying mud, rocks, and debris. About 4,000 residents living along Boulder Creek have been ordered to evacuate. Rain falling down mountains scarred from wildfires proves to be a deadly mix.
One of those fatalities actually occurred really close to my house. A woman was struck by a rolling boulder and killed.
The downpour was too much for rescue crews trying to reach people cut off from safety because of heavy flooding.
It's not that we don't have the equipment or the manpower. It's just the conditions haven't permitted it. We couldn't get up the valleys.
The National Guard planned to work through the night to rescue 60 people stranded in their homes in Lyons, Colorado.
The National Guard is here to go 24/7.
First responders in Lafayette County rushed to save 3 drivers who plunged into this creek when the road washed away. There was also a battle to save homes.
As you can see, everybody's busy building up because we're expecting more rain.
And business owners resorted to plastic trash cans to bail water.
I don't know if we have flood insurance, so we're gonna do it. we're gonna save it.
Buckets will likely be needed again today with more rain in the forecast. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Broomfield, Colorado.
So sad to see all that. And here's something else to take a look at. This is from the University of Colorado at Boulder, where classes are canceled once again today after a quarter of the buildings on campus were flooded. This video shows students running through parts of the flooded main campus yesterday. It is a mess in a lot of the country. All right, New Mexico is sharing $28 million in FEMA grant money with Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. The money will help a total of 180 local fire departments plus emergency medical agencies and pay for training facilities in 5 states. The grant assists with vehicles, equipment, facilities, protective equipment, hiring, recruiting, retention, health and wellness programs, basically everything you could think of. Albuquerque's fire department is getting $1.6 million. It's going to use that to buy 50 automated external defibrillators, the AEDs, which can help restart somebody's heart and save a life. The largest grant, $3.3 million, is going to Corpus Christi, Texas. Now, as long as the rains and a flood threat remain, stick around. News 13 is going to have the latest anytime you need it, and also you can get the latest updates at KRQE.com. Plus, meteorologist Chris Gilson's full forecast is coming up in just a few minutes, less than 5 as a matter of fact. Well, a new curriculum adopted at the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy is trimming basic police officer training down to just 16 weeks. The board that oversees the academy unanimously made the decision at a meeting on Wednesday in Santa Fe, approving this new curriculum and trimming 6 weeks from the current program. The leaders there say the shorter curriculum is actually more dynamic training with less redundancy, and that'll create a more fluid learning environment for the cadets. The next basic training academy will begin in January. The classes are limited to just 50 cadets.